Welcome to the Sunday night non-duality talk. And hi Claudia, hi Alison. And what do I start with? I have a webinar happening on I think the 28th. It's the last Saturday of the month. And I'm going to do those every last Saturday of the month. And you can find the details of that on my website. I think there's 5 places left for that. And it's £20, and it's the whole afternoon. It's from 2 till 5:30. Hi, Paul. Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. And I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye to you properly. I did have a look around for you. Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. What else? I haven't got any other meetings coming up as far as I know till November, but I'm going to try and do a weekend in the summer if I get my act together. And book news, the book is on Amazon. We're just waiting for the approval, and I just have to finish the cover, and then that's it. Okay, so here we are again. For absolutely no purpose or reason. It just seems like there's a reason that we're here. It seems like there's a reason for everything. But there's no reason for anything. Hi, Donnie. There's no reason to be talking about non-duality. There's no reason to be for anything. It's just what's happening. And anything that's happening is actually what the seeker thinks it's looking for. But it thinks it's looking for something else. It thinks there's something to find in what is happening. Something it's not getting. I think there's something to find in non-duality. Or non-duality does. Hi, Sergey. Hi, Keel. What non-duality is not even doesn't do anything. All it is speaking, happening, pointing to the illusion of that there is nothing else happening apart from what is happening. Hi, Ella. And that the sense of self is not actually a self at all. It's life appearing as self. And nobody is doing that. Nothing is doing that. It's just appearing out of nothing, out of no, it is nothing. It's just nothing appearing as a sense of self. And then appearing as looking for freedom. And it is freedom, appearing as not freedom. And there's nothing personal in that. There is nobody doing the me. The me is not being done by the me at all. The me is just an appearance in this. Hi, Richard. This. There's no other word for this. Any word is just a description. There's actually nothing, even words are just what's happening. They're not happening for anybody. They're not spoken to anybody. It's just what's happening. And what you think you're looking for, what you are looking for, is this. But it can't be found. That's the paradox, that's the irony. It can't be found because there's nothing to find and no one to find it. Oh, no, wrong one. But the sun reasons. If a reason does appear, it keeps changing anyway. Reasons never stick. I like reasons, but I also like non-reasons. Yeah, well, reasons exist in the story. Hi, Phyllis. Yeah, so there's nothing to get here because there's nothing happening here. And it looks like something is happening because it appears like somebody's pointing to something. But no, there's nobody pointing to anything. There's just life appearing as an apparent message of life appearing. And paradoxically, something can hear that, but it's never a person that hears that. It can just be heard. No different from feeling water and it being wet, or feeling heat and it being hot, hearing a message and it being heard, hearing what's being said and it being recognized. But in that recognition, it's obvious that there's nothing to actually recognize. It's the recognition that there isn't anything to recognize. It's the recognition that all there is what's happening, and that is in absolute free fall. Hi, Anne. Hi, SS. Why does the me feel like there's something missing anyway, even when nothing is going on? I have no idea. Anything I say will be a description and a story and will make absolutely no difference anyway. Me, the sense of me, is just happening. To go into why the me is there, I would have to go into a story about the misunderstanding in the brain and all that stuff. But I don't actually know if any of that's true. So I'd be kind of bullshitting, really. I'd be theorizing. I have no idea why anything appears. It just appears. Alicia here has no idea about anything at all to do with this. It's a total not knowing for nobody. It's a total not getting, not knowing. There's no ground to stand on. The sense of me always likes to have a ground to stand on, likes to know it's on a path of some sort. It feels safe there. Even if it's in misery, at least it's safe because it's a kind of a ground that it can walk on. Life is always complete. Nothing needs to be changed. Well, it's that can even be seen intellectually. Can it be anything else than but what is happening? Can it be anything else? It is always, always complete. And if the person changes something, then that is what is happening, and it's absolutely complete. Nothing needs to be changed. No, no, no. Nothing can be changed. Changes happen. Ideas happen. Ideas to change, I don't know, the color of your room, or change, I don't know, something else. But they're just ideas that arise, no different from anything else that arises. The sound of the voice is just arising out of, it's just nothing arising as a voice. Ideas arise as an idea, and they're absolutely complete. And then there might be a change made, but no one's doing any of that. The idea that something can be changed is the idea coming from the person that feels things need to be changed for me so I can feel better about myself, about my position in my imaginary world, which is where the sense of me resides, in an imaginary dream of my world where I have a position of lack and gain, closer, further away, good, bad. That's a dream of me and a dream position that it imagines it holds for itself. And it can't make any changes to anything. The changes come about by spontaneously arising out of the human. Changes get made all the time here. You could say that washing my dishes is a change. You know, it's what do you measure as a change? The change for the me is always a change for my position within my dream world. So no one's doing anything. No one's even doing the me. No one's doing it. It's just within that dream, it claims that I'm doing it. That's part of its dream. That's part of its illusion and part of its delusion that I'm doing it. I'm here and I'm doing it, but it's not doing anything at all. It's just causing a lot of problems. Can't find any arguments against non-duality. Have you experienced someone arguing against this? Yes. Though I don't really talk to people who I know that aren't in this message. I accidentally talked to someone about it ages and ages ago, like 3 years ago. But there was somebody here who took a position about that then. So I was arguing a position about nobody. And now you can't, I mean, you just can't really talk about it, you know, in that way, because what can you say? And not, there is no non-duality. There's only just what's happening. We just call it a word. So when people are looking for this kind of talking, they can type it in and usually, not always, but usually find this kind of speaking. I googled arguments against non-duality and found virtually no results. Yeah. There isn't even that much about non-duality on Google even. I mean, it just comes up with a bunch of videos, isn't it? Various speakers. It's like trying to argue that there's something else happening apart from what is happening. It's just ridiculous, really. There's nothing else happening. Yes, but tomorrow, that'll be happening. Yeah, but it's not happening, is it? All that's talking about is talking about something else happening. That's what's happening. It's like you can't really take a position on this subject because because then it would become a subject, become a thing, and what we're talking about is no thing, is nothing. There's nothing being said here. I no matter. Oh, positionless position. Yeah, it's an imaginary position. Oh, this one, just check. 0 results found, right. No matter, yes, the fake is what isn't showing up. Yes, the fake is what isn't showing up. Yes. Yes. It's all too immediate to get hold of. I mean, we can, I talk with friends normally about, what we're going to do tomorrow, and all that. And there's this, it's just what's happening. But there is no tomorrow. There is no yesterday. It's just the way the human functions. It functions in this way. But people really believe that there is a tomorrow, that there is something apart from what's happening. And that's their right, really. Whatever the other son. Not that that means anything, but it's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll find plenty of people to argue with it about it. Just join some Facebook groups. There'll be a pretty lot of arguments there about the nuances of non-duality, the nuances of the me, arguing about nothing. Nothing, arguing about nothing. It says, as long as the person is there, it will always seek right, even after awaking, but it's still the seeker. Once the sense of seeing but somebody is not there, seeking immediately goes along with it. Maybe I'm not understanding your comment. As long as the person is there, it will always seek, right? Yes, yes. It will always seek. Me and seeking are synonymous. The me is a feeling of separation, always looking for wholeness. In whatever way it does that, in a myriad of ways. Even after awaking, it's still the seeker. I don't understand that last bit, I'm sorry. Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Contracted energy of me. Can you ask that again, please? Like, there's a few words there I don't understand. AOST, contracted energy of me. There's probably a predictive text happening there. Does the contracted energy of me fall away from one moment to another? It can appear like that. It can be there and then it can be gone. It can't be halfway. It can't be halfway there and halfway not there. It's either there or it's not. And that can appear in many ways. It can appear as it being there one day, then gone another day, then back and forth, or there for a long time, then gone for a split second, or gone for ages and back for a split second, or it just can be completely gone. Yeah, and there's no rules to that. It can come and go all the time. I mean, I talk to a lot of people where that contracted energy is there one day and gone the next. It keeps coming and going, coming and going. But nobody's doing that. That's just how life is appearing. And there's nothing that can be done about that. There is nothing that can be done about this appearing as whatever it is. Nothing at all. Nothing. Just is. And this appearing as being a me, or the human appearing without a me, makes no difference. Ultimately, no difference at all. Because it's all aliveness, all of it, even the sense of me. And yet, paradoxically, as I said before, hearing this message, it can be revealed as the illusion as it is. And there is no longer separation, but for nobody, not for me, because Non-separation is literally non-separation. There isn't somebody seeing non-separation or being aware of non-separation. It's the end of the game of anybody. Nothing can be known. No, nothing can be known. This can't be known. The only knowing thing that can happen is in the human, like knowing where you left your keys. Functioning knowing is the only knowing that's left. Ben, hey Ben, what does not to non-duality mean? It means that there is not somebody and everything else. There is not me and some and or everything else, and the I as separation. This is what it means to you. This is what it means here. For me, it means that there is not somebody who is separate and everything else. There is only everything, and that includes somebody, if that is there, the appearance of somebody. Because the appearance of somebody is just as real and unreal as a cup. Hi, Josie. You're welcome, Thomas. Sense of self is real and unreal as a plant or a hand. It's just what's appearing. But it's not actually separate. It's the illusion of separation. It's actually free, but not from that perspective. Cuckoo! Cuckoo from Canada. Is that French? Yeah, so that's what it means here, Ben. It just means that there is nothing separate. Because the sense of self feels so separate. All right. It feels so real. Yeah, that's it. That's the illusion. It's an illusionist. It's a master illusionist. The master of illusion is the me. It's its own illusion. It's life's illusion, actually. Hi, lovely. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, it feels so damn real, right? And then when it's not there, it's like, oh, it was never real. It was just felt so real. It lives in its own apparent reality of itself. Hi, Tangerine. You're welcome, Ben. The sun, I had a dream last night that appeared just as real as what's happening now. Yeah, because dreams are what's happening. When there's dreaming happening, that is everything appearing as dreaming. And it's just as real and unreal as this, because it is this, but in a dream state. And there's nobody in the dream, and there's nobody in this. And there's nobody in deep sleep. And there's nobody in death. And there's just nobody. Hi, Tracy. There's just nobody. There's just life appearing as somebody. Oh, the sun. And we are talking about the same subject. And we were talking about the same subject. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Appearing in the dream. It's just all so real and unreal, isn't it? It feels so real And yet it's so unreal too. It's neither. You can say it's real and unreal, and you can say it's neither real or neither unreal. This is beyond what is appearing. All this is beyond description. We just communicate in words, so we get as close as we can to the indescribable. Oh, I forgot to say, if anyone would like to donate something to the talk, I'd be very grateful. It really helps me out a lot. And thank you for those who have donated. And thank you especially to a certain person who donated quite a nice donation recently. I don't want to mention their name, but I just want to say thank you for that. I'm really grateful. What's the name of your new book? I can't say until it's out. But it's something I say a lot. It's something that, yeah, something I say a lot. That's all I can say. My editor wouldn't be very happy if I did that. We have to kind of get the copyright stuff and all that finished. Richard, are nothing and everything the same as non-being and being? Thanks, Josie. I could do with some dollars. Are nothing and everything the same as non-being and being? There's none of them have absolutely any relevance whatsoever. You could say so as intellectually, conceptually, nothing and everything, being and non-being. Nothing. No, I don't think so. Intellectually, no. Nothing and everything. Yeah, this is nothing and everything, and neither everything and neither nothing. Being and non-being. Being. Being, I guess you could say being, as it's being, but not a being. It's being here. It's here. There's a table here. Being a table. But it's also not a table. So yeah, I guess you could say that. Lovely. He said, I was in the plane 2 weeks ago and was really afraid of dying. Why are we so scared of becoming nothing? Leave our lives and families behind. I guess it's the sense of self afraid of dying, because the sense of self thinks it's alive. It thinks it's who you are, and it's scared of dying. Even in this message, there are many me's, or apparent me's, who aren't me's at all, who claim that they are afraid of dying. And when this message is revealed, that sense of self gets very afraid because it's hanging on to what it thinks is its life. So I guess the same when there's physical, when it's afraid of dying on a plane. You know, not everyone gets afraid on planes, but some people do, and they get afraid of dying, even though there's a very unlikely chance that you would die in the plane. But it's a kind of an irrational fear, isn't it? It's a fear that that I'm going to die, that I'm going to leave my friends and family behind. And when nothing gets left behind, nothing gets left behind. When the body dies, everything dies, everything's gone. This is neither real or not real. The whole thing will just go for a puff of smoke. But the fear of dying is, it depends, you know. If it's because it's on an aeroplane, it might just be an irrational fear, which can come up in a lot of people, you know. It might not be the me at all. It could be just an irrational fear. And then there's all the story about leaving friends and family and stuff behind. CDD, hey CDD. My me keeps claiming everything. It could stem from insecurity or greed, I don't know. It's because it claims everything, because that gives it its ground. It gives it its sense of being, its sense of purpose, its sense of solidity. I have to claim everything because I have to claim everything. I don't claim it. It can't help it, CDD. It has to, because it feels separate from everything. So it has to claim it. Everything is regard to itself. It's totally self-centered. It's totally obsessed with its own sense of being. So it has to claim everything. It's always concerned about itself. And yeah, I mean, claiming everything, it could come from insecurity, but the me is insecurity itself. And if there's a sense of freedom there, the me will claim that as well. I'm free. It has to keep its position, well, whatever that position is, whether it's a lowly me, a cool me, or a very happy me, or a free me, you know, all these imaginary positions. It has to claim everything to keep itself in that position so it feels safe. Kiel, I'd say the sense of self is totally illusory because it feels real and it never was there. The cup was, though. It might have been a sense, but not a sense of self. Well, words, yeah. Everything is real and unreal. You could say, no, hang on, I was going to tell you a terrible metaphor then. But whatever's happening, even pointing to the illusory sense of self, is what's happening. None of it is real. None of it is solid. None of this is real as a steady state. Everything is absolutely landing all at once. Sense of self, cup, plant, body, all landing at once. That's what I mean by it's the same. But also within this, what was also landing is the voice saying it's illusory. You can't separate them out in that way. But you can point to it being illusory. Now, the cup is not pretending to be something, at least as far as I know. But it's all in free fall. The cup, the me, the pointing to the illusion of me, everything all happening all at once in a great big soup of nothing. Anne, could you explain a table but not a table? Everything and nothing, not seeing that yet. No, you won't be able to see it. I don't see it. Yeah, it's a table. It's a table. No, I can't. It can't be described. Can you say that no one is responsible for their own life? No one has their own life. No one is responsible because there is no one. No one can be responsible for an illusion of themselves. That would be responsibility is just a conceptual guilt trip. Responsibility. Yeah, responsibility happens. Like, you know, I have to be responsible for someone's dog in 2 weeks' time. But that's not what you mean, right? It's a kind of more to do with. No one's responsible because no one has a life. There's nobody doing a life. There is only life. Responsibility would have to be conceptual. It's either responsibility is apparently taken or not taken, but it's not taken by anyone. And it's not really there, actually. Nice one, Keel. If I don't discover, I don't exist. Who will? You're kidding. Yeah, exactly. It's more of the discovery I don't exist. It's an amazing discovery, actually. Of the sun, responsibility isn't some solid thing that some separate being has to carry. No, that's right. There isn't anybody and there is no responsibility for someone. It would just be a story that's been made up by the sense of self. CDD, one of these days, this me is going to drop away and I won't even be here to say, see ya. Yeah, one of these days, one way or another. One way or another. And it'll just be a big fat nothing. As someone wrote to me the other day, a big fuss over nothing. Thank you, that takes the burden off me. Oh yeah. Well, there is no me. Takes the burden off no one. Of the sun. But we are thought, that is it. When in essence, it's just another appearance, like wanting to drink water when I'm thirsty. But we are thought that it is. When in essence it's just another appearance, like drinking water. I'm trying to see through the sentence here. Taught. Yes, okay, responsibility. Yes, well, the appearance of responsibility, responsibility, I think in that sense that you're talking about is the responsibility of me and my life and how I have responsibility to be a better person, to do good things, to all these different things I have to be responsible for. Well, when there's no sense of self, that completely goes. Completely goes. Responsibility arises, yeah, as you say, responsibility arises like wanting to drink water when you're thirsty. But only, there's not even that. It's just conceptual. I say that I'm going to be responsible for a dog, but I'm not going to be responsible for the dog. What's going to happen is I'm going to get the dog and I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to look after it. There will be no responsibility happening for that dog. It will just be what's happening. And, I'll be looking after the dog to the best of my ability to keep it safe from harm or running away. There's no responsibility in that, actually. I think responsibility is just a concept, really. It's just a story. It's like saying, I have to be responsible for this person not going outside and murdering somebody right now. Sorry, a bit extreme. For going outside and murdering someone right now. But if the whole concept of responsibility dropped, who would go out and murder someone anyway? That just wouldn't happen. No one's going to get off their seat and go and murder someone because there's no sense of responsibility there. Because the whole sense of responsibility is for somebody as part of their story. The character does what the character does. And when there's no stories there, the character keeps on doing what the character was already doing anyway. Hi, Joe. I also forgot to say, my intro is terrible. Didn't say anything. And I also do one-to-one Skype sessions. And you can get that through my website. So if you want to do that, just go to my website and you can book there. I should really have a list of things that I need to say at the beginning of these talks. Not just like dot them in every 20 minutes. Joe says, relax. I'm laughing because I'm waiting for the response from somebody. There it is. Tracy, it's difficult to imagine that wholeness is this, especially as I'm so bored. Yeah, and restless. No one's bored and restless. There's just boredom and restlessness happening, but nobody's doing it. Then I'm bored and restless is the story of the me. I'm bored. It's my boredom, it's my restlessness. That is wholeness, Tracy. Everything that's happening is it, except for there is no it as something that's got to be got. There's no it to get. And you can't imagine this. There's nobody to imagine this. Imagination, imagining something would be seeking. Oh, the sun. You mentioned that non-duality doesn't help anyone. If that's the case, why does it seem apparent that it helps relax the character? Yeah, but that's not helping someone, is it? That's not helping the me. It relaxes the character. Yeah. But that the character isn't anybody. Yeah, it's more the story relaxes. The story relaxes, but that's not helping. That's not helping the me. That's just what's happening. Because suddenly the character might not be relaxed anymore because something's happened, and then the me will pipe up. Oh, look, I've failed. I would say that here the character of Lisa is definitely more relaxed, but it doesn't feel like it's helped anybody. Nobody's been helped by that. That's what I mean. The person is not helped by this message. But they can be relaxing for sure in that way, but it's not helpful to somebody. It's just what happens. That's definitely a side effect though, for sure, relaxing. In most cases, but not in all cases. Yeah, yeah. But that doesn't give the person anything, does it? Being more relaxed doesn't give the person anything. Unless the person makes something out of it. I'm relaxed, me. It's more like there's less story there, less neurosis happening, perhaps. Seeking relaxes. Seeking can die down. That can definitely be a bonus because seeking is very uncomfortable. At least I found it uncomfortable. Tracy, I don't know difference of being more relaxed, or maybe there is depression. I don't know difference of being more relaxed, or maybe there is depression. Are you saying you don't know the difference between being relaxed and depression? I'm sorry, I don't really understand the comment there. Well, depression is definitely not relaxed, is it? Depression is very uncomfortable. Relaxation is, I equate with comfort, less motivation. Or being relaxed and having less motivation are different. Here, anyway, this character is definitely very relaxed, but I would say that there's definitely motivation. I'm always busy doing something or another, even busy staring at walls and reading. Planting things and whatever. Motivation is a story, isn't it? Hi, Fathering Gay Smythe. That's the name. Imagine reality without any concept, words, thoughts, and ideas. You can't. You can't. Because that's already it anyway. This is reality without concept, words, thoughts, and ideas. Everything is it. Everything. Even the contrary language I use about pointing to concepts, that's a concept, that's a concept. It's too much in free fall. But I know what you're saying. Without the sense of self, all that's left is freedom. It's just freedom. And then there's freedom for concepts, words, thoughts, and ideas without anything latching onto them as a sense of self. My concepts, my words, my thoughts, my ideas. And concepts, words, thoughts, and ideas are free to be there because they are freedom. Free from the sense of me. Free from them being my thoughts, my ideas. They're just thoughts and ideas. Absolutely wonderful, like everything else. Thoughts and ideas are like birds flying through the sky. They're free to be there. They're not being claimed by anybody. What reason would there be to believe that there is anything other than what you are aware of? What you are aware of. I'm not aware of anything. I know what you're saying. Well, yeah. What reason would there be to believe that there's anything other than what you're aware of? I guess there would be beliefs. Most people have beliefs. There is things other than what is happening. That's fine because that's what's happening. There's no reason for anything, really. I sound like I'm being contrary, but I'm not. I didn't know anything. CDD, making cucumber salad is just what's happening. Yeah. I can't actually say if there is anything else outside of this room. I have no idea or care, actually. That could be happening. I don't know. I'm not there to see it, so I don't know or care. There could be stars and supernovas happening. Apparently. Don't know. Nobody knows. Okay, I've got a few minutes left if anyone wants to ask any last things. And I'll be back next Sunday night. And next Saturday I'm having my webinar. There are 5 places left if anybody wants to join for that. For the sun, how do you tell the difference between mental illness and what's just happening? I guess mental illness would be what's just happening if it was there. That's what would be happening, mental illness. Oh, I think I know what you mean. Well, if there was mental illness happening here, that's what would just be happening. Yeah. I don't know if I'd recognize mental illness if it was here. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Don't know. So there's no other way to recognize having a mental illness if there's an understanding of this message. Well, if there's mental illness, you'd probably recognize it. Like if you were having really bad, disturbing thoughts or inability to communicate, you could recognize that. Yeah, why not? You recognize when you've got a cold. You know, it's not that the body gets a cold and there's like, well, there's no me, so there's no one to recognize that. Of course, no, of course there'd be. You've still got a brain. The mental illness and colds and all these illnesses got nothing to do with the sense of me. That's just something that happens to the body. No, mental illness is something that happens to the brain, and that could or that may or may not be recognized when that's happening. Because the me can claim, well, it's just, well, that would be another me story. It's just happening because the me can claim it. Yeah, well, that would just be kind of like just a bit of a crap story for the me. You know, and not seek out. But that, yeah, that would just be. Would it though? Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we're conceptualizing here. I think if someone had mental illness, even if they're in this message, they could try and think their way out of it. But if it was bad, it's quite likely they'd probably go and seek professional help. Yeah, yeah, getting help would happen. Yeah, it would, yeah. But if suddenly this body was really sick, you know, there's nothing here going, well, it's just what's happening, because that's the conceptual idea of the me, it's just what's happening. When that's no, there's no me, there's nothing going. Well, it's just what's happening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a me. That would be a me game. I don't think it would happen. Yeah, it would just go and see a doctor. The person would just go and see a doctor if it had any illness at all. Mm. Okay, guys, talking of mental illness, I'm gonna go and finish off watching this series, which is really dark and really dark, but I'm kind of addicted to it. It's set in Victorian New York, and it's about this guy who's just really mentally ill. Anyway, it's really good. So I'm gonna go and do that. And thanks for joining me. Nice to see you all again. I don't remember if I was here last week or was I in London last week. I don't remember time. Going crazy here. But I'll speak to some of you on Wednesday, and I will see some of you on Saturday. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.